Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Utah. Finally got out of Wyoming. Finally got a signal back. Yay! I'm still here. Yep. Still about it. Still running. Gotta get over. So I don't know if I'll hold my signal through this canyon coming up that I'm going through, but there is something neat to see called the Devil's Slide. It's a natural geological formation through this canyon here in Utah, and it's called the Devil's Slide. Over on the right hand side has a lot of people rafting down it. It's a common place for people to be rafting. Matter of fact, I'm passing a raft right now. You can't see it, but I saw it right before I took that last curve. There's one right there. He's on the edge. I don't know if you saw him or not. Hey, Joy, how are you? What weekend? I've been working. What weekend? Oh, I'm having an okay time. The truck's being a little touchy today and yesterday. Um, I'm missing about half of my turbo boost from what is normal, and it's causing me a little bit of issues. I can't climb hills as well. I lose a lot more speed. I can't get my top speed very well unless I start going downhill first. Um, in other words, if the speed limit's 75 or 80, I can't reach it unless I have a downhill, and then once I'm at it, I'm okay because it'll hold. But um, if I'm if I'm not already up at that speed, I can't hold it. So it sounds like it's my EGRs, the EGR valves. I have two of them on this truck. Um, I've got new ones sitting at my dad's that I can pick them up on the way into Oregon, or deliver my load Monday and then go back out to my dad's and work on it there. Not sure how I'm going to fuel just to get the job done, because without the turbo boost, see, the turbo boost puts a little bit more into the engine without using fuel, because you're basically pushing your exhaust back through and and pushing the air a little faster. So it helps your engine produce more power with less fuel. But since I'm about half of that on the turbo, I'm burning a lot more fuel right now. So instead of being at 6.5 to 7 miles to the gallon right now, I am, double check my gauge, on average running 4.9 miles to the gallon. Come on, people. Why are you going half of the limit for the construction? Ugh. Hey, Michael Brown, how are you? I don't know if I'll hold my signal in this canyon, but we will see. Hello, Melissa's Freedom and Stacy Gibbs. How are you guys? Lord of the Rings. Yeah. No, this is Utah. This is Utah on I-84. And I'm about to go past a little spot called the Devil's Slide. It's a natural geological site. I might actually pull off and pull the phone out so you guys can see it. Unless I already passed it. I might have already passed it. See, I'm going westbound. Most of the time, I don't even realize I'm right up on it until it's too late when I'm going westbound. If I'm going eastbound, at least I get to see it before the little pullout that's right there. And I think I missed it. It must have been one of them curves back further. That's all right. If you Google Utah, Google the Devil's Slide in Utah, take a look. Google the Devil's Slide in Utah and take a look at it. It's beautiful. I know there's got to be pictures of it all over the internet. It's just amazing how the rock was formed. And this is the problem I'm having with my truck right now. I got my foot to the floor, and I'm just barely accelerating. Normally, if I put my foot to the floor, I would have already been passing these guys. No, Michael Brown, I'm not driving on the wrong side of the road. I'm in America. Oh, you gotta love that. There, am I on the right side of the road now? Oop. GPS died on me. There we go, bring it back up. Bring that up. Whoop. Bring that up. There we go. Alright. I got him? I got him. Alright. We good. We're all good in the neighborhood. I know you guys drive on the left over in Europe. Believe it or not, I've actually been there. U.S. Army sent me overseas. So I've been in a lot of places over there. Mostly in the Middle East, but I've been a lot of places over there. Now can I re-accelerate? No, slowly. Come on. Still got nobody behind me, so I'm all right. Oh, I'm in Utah. Yep. It's like the rock is just sticking these two mohawks out side by side. It kind of forms like if there were water flowing down the middle, it would be the perfect water slide. See, I've seen it a million times. Hello, James. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that devil slide a million times, and it always catches. It always takes my breath away every time I see it. Just like these mountains here that we're looking at everywhere. Just the beauty of nature, in and of itself. I better slow down a little bit. I'm going too fast. There we go. Bring it back up. And see, I would say I'm speeding, but that person there is definitely speeding. Just because nobody wants to be stuck behind a semi truck. Yeah. Never mind the fact the semi truck is actually bombing way above the limit. Ripley, Tennessee, huh? Patriot, hello, how are you? All right. Oh, and Stacy Gibbs, yep. So, right now I'm lucky. See, my turbo boost is holding at about 16 psi, which it should normally be at 30. Yesterday, it hasn't done it today, but yesterday it went from 30 to 16, 15 psi, and only in gears 1 through 9. As soon as I would get into the 10th gear, it would drop to 0, and I would lose everything. So I had to run half of the day yesterday with my foot to the floor all the way in 9th gear and hold it right there just to be able to maintain 50 to 60 miles an hour across Nebraska. So, yeah, it's been one of them days. It's most likely, the problem is most likely my old EGR valves are finally shot. They weren't really functional before, but now they're probably completely non-functional and stuck wide open, which is causing an issue. Or at least one is stuck open and the other is stuck shut. I've got brand new ones sitting at my dad's to go put on, and I'm going to drive past there on the way to where I go deliver. So either I'll pick them up then or I'll deliver my load and then go out, and because I know I can while I'm at my dad's. I just can't work on my truck when I'm in my own driveway at home because I don't have the room. My property is not big enough for the whole truck and trailer. I can barely just fit my truck by itself without the trailer on my property, let alone my car, my wife's car, or any of my kids' cars. Nope. Just driving by Braille, that's all. A little bit of rumble strip, we call that driving by Braille. Yeah, that's something that's always scared me is what would I do if I had a car coming straight at me the wrong direction, what would I do? And I'd have no choice but to try to take the barrier right there with my truck. You know, it would destroy my truck, and that would be, you know, I would at least, you know, that would be most likely survivable out of that kind of situation. Um, but at these kinds of speeds these days, yeah, oh yeah, very beautiful drive. We're gonna have here in a bit. And then we'll be dropping down. Once we get through the canyon that's up ahead here, we'll be dropping right into Ogden, Utah. Yep. Oh. So, everybody had all kinds of events all over the country today. You know, there was one over in Oklahoma in Arcadia. There was one up in Wisconsin. I know there was one in Michigan. There was one down in Tennessee. And I know there was another one in Kansas. They were doing some kind of flag wave. Uh, Productive day across the country, sounds like. I just, I wanted to be at the one in Oklahoma, but I couldn't find a load that would get me anywhere close enough that I could even afford to take. Um, I literally took this load, goes all the way into Oregon, and it was literally the only load I could afford to take at the time. There we go. Down to the canyon speed limit. Well, I was in Polish's live here a couple nights back um, on a panel, and then last night she was on with Tennessee Patriot. They were at a bar together, and I was doing the moderator thing inside her chat last night, but I haven't had a chance to talk to her since what, a week ago, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. No, I think it was a little over a week ago. Um, I'm gonna get around this guy. There's no reason to do 50. No reason. But I know Polish Agnes was live. But while I was in that last half of Wyoming today, I didn't even have a strong enough signal to, let alone watch any of the live stream. I had intended on live streaming all the way through it, but through Wyoming, I lost my signal. Well, I didn't lose it. It was just went from a 5G to a and I was live streaming, and then it went down to a 3G. So, the western half of Wyoming is all 3G, and you can't really use that for anything these days. Keep your trailer in your own lane, dude. Yeah, I do get talked over a lot. Um, Usually when it's like Al Munson or Jeff Ellis or I don't know, well, really, I think, or I think it's a David that's in there. There's a David, there's Jeff, and there's Al Munson. Those three talk over me so badly in the open chats, it's not funny. It's like, oh, well, this guy's got a point, but it's contrary to what I believe in, so I can't have anybody else hear him. I'm just going to talk over the top of him. It's people like that are the problem. Sit down and listen to what somebody has to say, and then you say your piece and see if there's middle ground somewhere to be found, instead of trying to keep that person from being heard at all. Because as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, somebody on one side and a different person on the other side, if you keep trying to push only your side and I keep trying to push only my side, all we're doing is spinning our wheels in opposite directions. Even though the end goal is the same, we're just spinning our wheels. So, you got to turn around and have a good conversation with each other. Be willing to listen instead of talk over that person. And see if you guys can find middle ground to move forward. Because the middle ground is the only thing that ever moves anybody forward, except garbage. Complete garbage is not good for anybody, seems to be passing right through the middle of everybody today. Especially in the politics, in our House and in our Senate. I don't believe there's a left side. I don't believe there's a right side. I don't believe we have separate parties. I think they're all one party. They're all in cahoots together, on purpose, putting on a great show for the sole purpose of doing good, while they're sitting there passing all the bad stuff, and none of the good stuff ever passes. Doesn't matter which side. Both sides. Doesn't matter. Right, and they've kept us so divided. They've created so much different types of division in this country on purpose, solely to keep us from being able to stand together. And that division isn't coming just from, of course, a large amount of it comes from the media, but a very large amount of it comes from your schools, teaching your children, your churches. I mean, how many churches will not cooperate with each other for anything? And they'll sit there and preach against certain things. Your churches program you from childhood, from the most programmed to be one set of things. And every single person out there is programmed differently. It depends on your environment growing up. It depends on your parents, what they were programmed with before. Um, and it depends on the programming that you're getting in school, and you're getting it in from your media, from your TV, from your TV shows, from the commercials, from the movies, even from radio. Even from radio and in your music, you're being programmed. All that away and realize everybody around you is a human being and deserves the same rights and freedoms that you do. Period. It does not matter what their skin color is. It does not matter what their culture is. It doesn't matter what their language is. It does not matter what church they go to. It doesn't matter what religion they believe in. It doesn't matter what side of politics they believe in. Start looking at everybody as just another human being, period. Or even if you want to break it down to being in this country, in the United States, break it down to that's another U.S. citizen right next to me. They are a human being, and they deserve everything that I deserve. We all deserve the same, period. And it's time we start being treated that way. And it's time that we wake up and realize as divided as they think we are. Welcome to Ogden, Utah. You know, I can't begin to tell you, especially here in the trucking industry, I mean, there is a little bit of there's racial tendencies and sexual tendencies and, you know, all kinds of stuff, just like anywhere you go in the world. And that's because people were programmed that way. But for the most part, in the trucking industry, we are so diverse. We have every race, we have every language, we have, every color, we have every sexual identity, or ideology, or whatever you want to refer to it as, all within the trucking. I can pull in, doesn't matter what their races are, colors, or anything like that. They'll be talking to me, trying to, cheer me up a little bit, or I'll do the same if I see somebody that seems like they're a little depressed that day. We all come together. We all work together just fine. So, in reality, what are they really pushing? They're training our children to be racist. That's what they're doing right now. They're training our children to be racist. Basically, by teaching things like CRT in school. I know I'm going to catch flack for it, but CRT in school, basically, you're telling the white people they have to be guilty and they have to bow down to this other race. And you're telling the black people that they have been mistreated so badly and they have no chance at life because of the white people. That's what that really teaches in the end. You may have good intentions with CRT, but in the end, the children only learn that there is division, and they learn to hate each other over it. Hello, Rosie Rowe. Oh, that was a good bump. Better set my cruise control so I don't get myself a ticket. There we go. Yeah, Utah is always beautiful. Very beautiful. And at least, ooh, what's that? At least the weather's decent enough today. You actually get to see it. The other day when I came through, it was pouring rain so hard you couldn't see anything. Now I got to check my electronic log really quickly to make sure I've got left before I have to stop that I'm required. All right, so I've got an hour and 18 minutes before I absolutely have to stop. I was thinking roughly an hour, so I was good. My brain was thinking right. I think maybe Tremonton. I might pull off at the Texaco. They got an Arby's inside. I might stop off there. For my half-hour break. Right now it's kind of cooperating. It's not getting any better than 15 to 16 psi, but at least it's holding it in 10th gear, unlike yesterday. Yesterday it would only hold 15 to 16 psi on the turbo boost in gears 1 through 9. But as soon as I would get to 10th gear, it would just drop to 0, and I wouldn't be able to. All I would be doing in 10th gear would be decelerating until it would switch back into 9th gear again. Yesterday was not fun because I basically averaged 50 miles an hour across Nebraska. Yes, Joy, I did say Arby's. But if I'm going to go to Arby's, there's only 2 things I want. I want the Jamocha shake, and I want the Reuben sandwich, because that's a real deli meat. I don't want a roast beef. If you get the roast beef, you're not even getting real meat. You're getting a blood sausage that's been that's basically what it is. The roast beef is actually a blood sausage. It's not actual roast beef. Sorry, Joy. I can't help it. I worked at an Arby's when I was a teenager. I worked at an Arby's when I was a teenager. I always thought it was weird. Cans, and I mean big. You cut the can open and slide the meat out, and then you run it on a slicer. And that's what they were calling the roast beef, and they still do that today. Hey, Carol, how are you? The one thing I don't really like these days, though, no matter where I go in the country, I can't get a sourdough or a rye that tastes right. They all just taste so bland. The sourdoughs aren't as sour as they used to be, and the rye also should have a sour taste to it, a strong rye sour taste, and it doesn't. They're all just so bland, and I don't understand what happened. Why did we suddenly go through that change? Is it because these bread companies now they're the mainstream bread, and they're pushing out so much bread that they're using so much extra filler that you can't taste the bread for what it is anymore? No, the San Francisco sourdough bread is one of the most bland that I have found. Seattle's sourdough used to be, still is, more sour than the San Francisco one, but it's not as sour as it used to be. It doesn't have that flavor. Most of them are missing that sour flavor now. It's getting really hard to find a good one. When I was younger, I went to Schlotzsky's a few times. But there aren't really that many of them around the country. You know that, Joy. Just like Runza, there aren't that many. They're only in Nebraska. Ow. There we go. It's all in the taste buds. No, it's not. If I have to put, like, oh, I don't know, country crock on my out the sour flavor, there is something wrong with it. I should be able to just bite into that piece of bread without anything on it and be able to get that sour flavor. There was Schlotzsky's used to have a really good open-faced roast beef sandwich that they would do. I don't know if they still do it, but it was sloppy and it was good. That and the other thing is, Subway was just really popular at the time still, and I mean really popular because they were still relatively new. But Schlotzsky's came out, and it was a different kind of sub sandwich type place, and all of their sandwiches were on these big uh, round buns instead of the long hoagie roll type. And they also see everything at Subway at the time was a cold sandwich. They didn't have hot sandwiches when they first started. And Schlotzsky's was all theirs are all hot sandwiches. They put them in that grill, especially to melt the cheese. Oh man, those clouds almost look like they were painted there, you know? All right, I'm good to get over. There we go. See, there's a truck stop right here on this exit. This Flying J here. I'll stop there and get fuel if I have to, but I'm not staying there. I'm not going to get food there. I'm not going to buy any products there of any kind other than fuel, because the place is just nasty. Most of them are. And they have very little truck parking. And I mean very little. This one anyway, for the most part. There's another one, I think, further behind me that that's definitely another one that I will not go to. Because even sitting in the fuel island, even if I'm getting fuel, it smells like a urinal, like a really bad, stale, uncleaned urinal. And there's garbage everywhere. Slotsky's is always good, and they're not just in Texas. I've seen them around in other places in the country. As a matter of fact, up here in Washington State, we've got a couple of them. I don't know about here in Utah. Oh, that guy's hauling melons. Man, look at them melons. Too bad he's driving, because a lot of the ones that are sitting on top are open. Do not cut me off. Do not cut me off. Stay right. Hit your brakes. You couldn't see trying to cut me off. Well, and I know there's at least one there. And I think there's another Slotsky's. I don't remember if it was Spokane that I saw it or in the Seattle area somewhere. I don't remember if it was Spokane. I saw the other one somewhere in the. But I know there's one in the Tri-Cities, or at least there used to be. Being cracked or the on your Honda. I didn't get to read the whole thing because, lack of signal. I only saw the notification as it popped up. What's going on with your car there, Rosie? Yay, we're almost back into the 80-mile-an-hour speed zone. Oh, man. Just wait. A little further down the road, it's going to get real beautiful because I'm going to be like, there's going to be mountain ranges close. But that'll come after I take a half-hour break. Because we're within 20 to 30 minutes of where I'm going to take that half-hour break at. And I'm hoping to be somewhere near Twin Falls, Idaho, Jerome, Idaho area by the time I get done with my day today. Oh, look, it's a license plate from Texas. And again, yay! Sign. And that's for everybody, not just cars. And that is why, one of the biggest reasons why most of us truckers are, the government pushing these 65-mile-an-hour governors on the trucks. They're trying to pass a law right now to put 65-mile-an-hour governors on our trucks. For every 1 mile an hour difference between a semi-truck and a car, if the two of them were to come into contact with each other, for every 1 mile an hour difference, you are multiplying chances of a over 500%. So 65 and 80, that's 15 mile an hour difference, right? A 15 mile an hour difference means 500 times 15. That's how much you're going to multiply the possibility of a fatality accident. And of course, nobody wants to be able to do 80 miles an hour. Come on, people. How you doing? Hello, Eric and Doris. So, If I were to tell you that we put together petitions for each of the different states that have some form of oil production in them that was shut down by the executive order that Biden signed, if I was to tell you that we're putting petitions together for each of the individual states to get them to reopen their oil production on their own, regardless of what the president said, what would you say? What would you say about that? Because we've done it. We've got the petitions out there. Oof. Yeah. A couple of really thin straps over the top of the fencing that's on top of everything. I see one of them metal poles or one of them logs slowly bouncing and sliding off and then going through somebody's windshield. No thanks. I'm going around you. I don't have anybody right up my butt, so I'm just going to stay here until I'm past that other truck. See, this is the difference between 65 and 80. Past him, literally. I'm going to be getting off at the next exit, it looks like. That's where I'm going to be taking my half-hour break. And get the dog out for a walk. Oh, that's right. Yes, I was talking about you. I'm going to get you out for a walk. Oh, yeah, you're getting excited now, aren't you? He came out from under his blanket because he heard dog. You can't say the word dog anywhere without him popping up. All right. One more mile to our half-hour break. Yeah, I wish everybody could follow that song. Do what that song says, right? More trucks are parked there right now than normal. Here is still not good. No, they finished building that new Maverick across the street here. Semi truck to park and see where that 45-mile-an-hour sign is right there up ahead. The road used to end right there, and that used to be empty farm fields. Well, not empty, but they were farm fields. Now they built some houses and some church and a church there. As the area is growing, it's called Progress, right? Progress. Oh, I hear you squealing, buddy. I hear you squealing. You're going to have some grass in a second, all right? All right. Set this up. Nope. Okay. Now set it up. All right. A shadow. That. Grab my pistol real quick here. Put it back in my belt loop. There we go. All right, buddy. We ready? We're going to turn the microphone off. I hear you. I hear you. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. I hear you, Sid. I hear you, and so does everybody else. Where's my keys? There they are. All right. Put this. Everybody's sick. There we go. What do they got? It says UA. Oh, yeah. Hey. Yep. Oh, no, you don't, buddy. Dog. This is my dog. He ain't your dinner. I hear you out there still. I didn't see where you went to over there. He's still out there. I wonder where he is. Hmm. Oh, yeah.